Hey everyone, going to talk about glyphosate, cancer, and the cover up, what you need to know about it. There's a study that just came out in Biomed Central, June 10th, I believe it was, showing glyphosate with rats and all of the cancers that it's causing within the first even year of these rats' life. Very scary stuff. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So right now there's a $611 million verdict against Bauer, aka Monsanto, for cancer linked to Roundup weed killer. It just made the headlines. But the bigger story is the 67,000 other lawsuits waiting in the wings. Today we're diving into the science behind glyphosate, why regulators are ignoring it, and how to protect yourself. So in the US alone, each year, roughly around 280 million pounds of glyphosate is sprayed. It's absolutely crazy. So let's go to the lawsuits. In June 2024, a Missouri court upheld a $611 million judgment for three plaintiffs who developed cancer after glyphosate exposure. But Bauer's legal nightmare is far from over. The company faces 67,000 additional cases, with over $4 billion in damages already awarded. So Bauer acquired Monsanto, um, and the original maker of Roundup in about 2018, inheriting its legal battles. Internal emails revealed Monsanto knew about cancer risks as early as the 1980s, but manipulated studies to keep glyphosate on the market. And they've manipulated studies in the US specifically. They've shown peer review has shown that it's safe and has not linked to or causing cancer. But then you look at the European peer review papers, and it very clearly shows links to cancer. So you know how Bauer Monsanto is operated out of the U.S., so there's bias there, and they're paying whoever's creating these studies to manipulate the studies to make it look like it's not bad. And if you go look to Europe, well, guess what? Glyphosate is banned in most parts, if not all of Europe. So yeah, it's the evidence is there. It's here now more, and so this is why I wanted to speak to this because it's overwhelming. Um, how much proof there is now that these glyphosate is just absolutely horrible. And so in 2015, the World Health Organization classified glyphosate as probably carcinogenic. Yet the EPA still claims it's safe, a stance contradicted by new evidence. So let's jump into the science. There's a landmark 2-year study published in Biomed Central Journal exposed rats to glyphosate from prenatal stages to adulthood. The results? Even at doses regulators deemed safe, glyphosate caused leukemia, 40% of deaths occurred before 1 year, equivalent to childhood cancer in humans. Crazy to think. 40% of deaths occurred before 1 year. That's the equivalency to childhood cancer in humans. Horrible. Liver, thyroid, and brain tumors. DNA damage linked to multiple cancers. And I can't even begin to imagine the endocrine disrupting effects that glyphosate may also have. It's not just cancer, it's doing all sorts of other horrible things to your body, the environment, the planet. So the rat study charts, it shows critically zero leukemia cases appeared in about 1,600 control rats. Researchers concluded glyphosate meets the threshold for sufficient evidence of carcinogenity. So this isn't just about rats. 2019 meta-analysis of farm workers found a 41% higher risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, the same cancer in many Roundup lawsuits. Funny because Bauer actually so happens to sell a medication for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Interesting. There couldn't be a connection with that, could there? So sell you the poison, make you sick, and then we sell you the cure. That's like the perfect profiteering company ever. I mean, it's horrible and it's nefarious, but I'll let you decide what's the truth and what's not. So yeah, how does glyphosate enter your body? So glyphosate isn't just in weed killers. It's sprayed on crops like wheat, soy, and corn, which means it's also in bread, cereal, processed foods, beef from grain-fed cattle. Glyphosate concentrates in animal tissue from grain-fed. So get grass-fed and finished, not just fed. Fed and finished is very important. It's also in rainwater and groundwater. Um, so even organic foods, they're not immune to this, but they're much better. Wind drift and soil contamination means organic labels don't guarantee glyphosate free, but it's a way better option than non-organic. Always opt for the organic, no matter what. Um, so how do you reduce exposure to this, right? Because that's obviously scary to hear about all these things, quite alarming. So at least give you guys some ways to reduce your exposure to this horrible chemical. You can't avoid it completely. It's in pretty much everyone's bodies. Like it's in my body even too, and I eat super clean, but it's just the way that it is. So we just try to do the best we can and not make perfect the enemy of good, right? So what can you do? Choose organic, like I said before, especially for like oats, wheat, and soy. Try not to eat those things, especially oats. Oats are terrible unless they're sprouted to remove the phytic acid. But anyways, that's another tangent. Filtered water, like activated charcoal filters, not the Brita filters. Those are not great. Centivia makes a good one. There's also a few other ones you have to research. Reverse osmosis can be good. Obviously, limiting your processed foods. Opt for whole unprocessed ingredients when you can, and support glyphosate bans. Several countries have restricted its use already. So have your voice. Send your emails out to the people that you care about and people that are in city council and politicians and things like that. Yeah, try to make your voice be heard, because it's not just the farmers dealing with this, it's also us, and it's important we get this crap out of our environment. So yeah, so USDA EPA policy. So pressure does matter. After lawsuits, Bauer announced it would remove glyphosate from the US lawn products by 2023, but it's still used in agriculture, which is kind of crazy. So let's just wrap this all up. The glyphosate story isn't just about lawsuits or rats. It's about how corporate interest shapes science. And if you found this video valuable, please, share it with someone. The more people know, the harder it becomes to ignore. And I'll link some of the studies down into the bottom here, bio info, whatever it's called. And yeah, you guys can look at it and judge for yourself what you think of it, right? I'm not here to formulate your opinion on this matter, but I think it's good to bring this into everyone's level of awareness so we can start to push for better regulations, because this is just crazy and it's so bad for us. And let's work together to get rid of it. All right. See you next time, guys. Bye.